Minutes. And welcome back to Luminary Leaders Live. My name is Shelly Harrison. I'm your host. And today I have a very special episode, and you can see why. I am such an animal lover, and my guest today is going to share some things with you that are unbelievable, and a story that will just be very fascinating. But in the same token, puppies need to be saved, and he's going to talk about that. So anyway, welcome back to Luminary Leaders Live, and I'm going to introduce Brian Bovenzi. He is the founder and CEO of We Saved a Puppy, and you'll see there that he has his son with him, Luca. And Brian, welcome, and you have two puppies with you today.
Thank you so much for having us on the show today, Shelly. Really?
Yeah.
So, yep. So how did you hear about our organization?
Through actually on Instagram. So that's how I heard about your organization. And I've known about you for a couple of years now, several years.
Aww.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us about the puppies that you're holding right now. And you've got your son in the back, Luca. So Luca, come on up.
So this is Luca, my son. He's 15 years old. And he helps me down here in Tijuana with the rescue. And right now we've got Morfina and Faruco. So, dame Faruco, Luca. So this is a brother and sister that we found wandering the streets of Tijuana. And they were super bonded, so we kept them together. So now they've got a very loving home. They're very sweet dogs, very active, as you can see.
Oh, yeah. They're so adorable, too, and so wonderful that you kept them together. And I know you're doing a lot of work in Tijuana. And let's talk about your story, Brian, when it first started. Maybe you can share a little bit with our audience how this started and how you really came to start We Saved a Puppy.
Well, most definitely. So when I was younger, back in 2008, I got injured in a motorcycle accident, which I almost lost my leg, and it took me quite some time. Here you go.
They're so wiggly, huh? The dogs.
I got this guy.
Aww.
So it took me quite some time to get out of the wheelchair, and they were trying to amputate my lower right extremity of my right leg. So that was definitely a big hurdle in my life that I had to get over.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to do something good with my life after this point. So I've always loved these little guys right here. So I decided to, open up an animal rescue here in Tijuana, Mexico. And, we've been fairly successful. We've actually helped thousands of animals, whether it's been feeding them, providing medical care, adopting them out. These little guys that have no voice whatsoever.
Yeah. And I mean, you have put yourself in a lot of situations too, where it sometimes it's dangerous, when you come into some of the areas of Tijuana to save these pets.
You scared Faruco when you said that. You could see it.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
He said it's dangerous. But no, we actually have a live video, because I like to live video document everything that we do. And we've broken into drug dealers' yards and taken dogs down here in Tijuana. It's actually very interesting to watch us on Instagram. You'll see a lot of cool stuff. We document our surgeries that we do. We document, just earlier today, one of our rescues, it was a 2-year-old pup that was so matted when we got it, and something was lacerating its front left leg, and they have to amputate this poor dog's leg, but we're trying to keep this pup's leg.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like another. And then we got these 2 kittens that we recently took care of, and I live documented all their medical care, from the CBC blood test to the CMP blood test to testing for cat or feline AIDS, and they were also riddled with fleas. So they're still semi-feral, so we're not going to try to hold them because I don't want to get my eyes gouged out.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And the work that you do, though, I just admire what you're doing, because you're doing this on, a full-time basis. And I think that there are so many animals out there, when you see them in the streets or even in places where they need to be rescued, maybe they're wild dogs or, whatever. But I've seen a lot on Instagram that you and your team have done. What really drives you to do all of this?
So I've always been extremely outgoing ever since I was a child, and I've always really connected with animals, all types, especially these guys right here.
Yeah.
I lived down here. I moved here when I met a girl when I was 19 years old, because we
not so long ago.
21. If you're under 21, you can't drink. So what we would do is we'd come down to Tijuana. We'd take the trolley when we were younger, and I met a girl and kind of moved down here after that point. And I just saw how bad it was for the people and the animals, and my heart just went out to them. And then got that near-death experience with the motorcycle accident, and kind of shook things up. And I decided I wanted to help out these guys. It did start out as full-time. I was like, I could do 10 hours a week. And of course, now it's like 80 hours a week. So.
Yeah, I bet. Well, you're saving a lot of pets, and beyond just dogs too, even though your company is called We Saved a Puppy, puppy, kitty, cat, all of the different types of pets, domestic pets that people can have, as far as cats and dogs.
Yeah. Well, you'll even notice recently on one of our posts, we actually helped an alligator.
Oh, I think I remember that. Yes. And how was that? That was fascinating.
I was just in Louisiana last weekend, to visit a friend, and they're all telling me about all these alligators and all that. So I was like, I thought it'd be fun to repost that one that we helped. So
yeah. And now, how did you find the alligator? I mean, how did that?
In Tijuana, they're actually pretty common pets down here.
Oh.
So this one wasn't eating. So after a CBC blood test, we noticed its platelets were low. We administered doxycycline.
Yeah.
After that point, it started eating again. So.
Wow.
I'm sure I got a lot of hair on my shirt from this.
Well, that's okay, because we know our fur puppies, it doesn't matter. When you got hair, you could just wipe it off or use a roller to get the hair off. So Brian, when you think of the work that you do, you've met a lot of people, you have a great team in place. Where is this kind of next step for you in terms of kind of getting everything pulled together with the pets and animals that you're saving?
Most definitely. So what we've noticed is during the pandemic, we adopted so many animals. I mean, we couldn't get an animal off the streets and not have 8 people want to adopt them that day, which is now there's less people wanting to adopt. There's more people needing veterinary care. So what I'm doing now is I have my own hospital, in which case we're in it. And this gentleman's he's fixing our lock on our hospital. And it's a little, there you go, let it go. There you go. Here's those kittens I was mentioning.
Yeah.
And we're getting everything up to code here. And as it says, we offer 90% off of veterinary care.
Yeah, that is a phenomenal savings. Oh my God.
It is. And so a lot of times we do it for free. We have our CBC blood machine. This is my autoclave. We've got our urinalysis machine. This is our CMP blood machine, our dental cleaner, and lots and lots of more stuff to show. But we're just getting everything good to go. We are just about done getting our licensing. So what we're going to be doing is offering free and very discounted veterinary care. And we're going to be the Amazon Prime of veterinary care. So
wow.
If your animal needs help, you don't even have to leave your couch. We'll come to you. The animal, and best of all, we live document our medical, so you can watch your animal receive their medical care live.
My gosh.
And then what we're trying to do is help out the people down here in Mexico that are unable to afford the veterinary care. So we're going to start doing, GoFundMes and just having people donate directly to our nonprofit. And we're going to try to spay, neuter, vaccinate, deworm, and do blood tests for a specific amount of animals every month. And then the more well-known we are, the bigger we're grow. I don't want to bite off more than I can chew, so we're slowly really trying to get up there. But then also for somebody in the North America, even Canada, the United States, and of course Mexico, we're starting to work with pilots. And I started to study to become a pilot myself. So we're able to get animals from anywhere in the States or Canada.
Wow.
So as a matter of fact, there's a lady, her dog had a broken leg in Florida, and she was actually coming out here to get it fixed because they were trying to charge around $8,000, and I'm able to do it for a fraction of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, that when it comes to pet expenses, I mean, we have our pets. We have between my daughter and our family, we have 4 pets, 4 dogs. We also have a turtle. So when we think of pet expenses, I mean, let alone, the shots and the food and everything, I mean, what can you share with people when it comes to, the expenses, having a dog, and what are some of those things that you want them to be aware of so that they can take good care of their pets and, not have issues down the road if it can be helped?
Let me confer with my assistant. All right, Marfina, we're gonna. All right. What we're gonna do right here is we're gonna look at the gum line. I'm gonna get a little bit closer. And so you're gonna press the gum line. I got you. And then you're gonna let it go. And you're gonna notice how that gum line was pink.
Yes.
So
saw that.
When that gum line is white, that means they're potentially anemic. And a lot of times that's due to fleas, ticks, parasites.
Yeah.
And lots of bad things come. But essentially the platelets are supposed to be between 200 and 500 on dogs. And that's why we do a CBC or a complete blood count on these guys to confirm what platelets are, and that's where we administer the antibiotic. So that one is checking their teeth, checking their gum lines, checking their eyes. When they're licking their paws a lot, that means that they have sensitivity in the stomach. There's bloody diarrhea, bloody vomiting. When they're younger, that could be parvovirus.
Which is incurable, right? The parvo?
Oh, no. Parvo started in the 1970s, and it was actually a global pandemic within 2 years. So this horrible pandemic really killed a lot of these amazing little animals here. So what now is it really is incurable, but what we do is we intravenously give a specific antibiotic, and you have to monitor these guys all the time because you're going in through the arm, and of course they're trying to bite it off.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes the cones work. So you have to be very cautious of which hospitals you go to because most don't really care. And if you follow our Instagram, you'll actually see us kind of call out some very big hospitals.
Oh, yeah, where it's just like a machine, right? Where they're just all they're there to do is just to make money, and they have more expenses because they have such big staffs, and they have this nice, beautiful, big veterinary hospital. I mean, there's a lot of things to consider, and I would imagine that there's a lot of veterinarians out there that are doing really good work, but then there are those that just are not doing the right thing.
Yeah, so I mean, I've run across both. Don't get me wrong, and I love any hospital or any person who's a veterinarian. They have a wonderful heart, and they generally get into it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
But doing what I do, I've actually seen a lot of shady things. I had 2 younger 20-year-old girls. I went to a very big hospital in San Diego. The doctors lied, said your kitten either got run over by a car or attacked by a large dog. We're going to need $1,000 surgery. They shaved part of it here and here. I don't know why they did that. And they made them sign something saying, like, we understand that our cat most likely is going to die if we get a second opinion with another hospital. The cat of antibiotics. And it was, you'd be surprised how many times I run across this kind of situation. So,
yeah, I could just imagine.
But it's just sad because a lot of people, I'm sure yourself included, you feel these animals are your children. And, when you go and your animal gets hurt or hit by a car or attacked by a dog or sick, this is your child, this is your baby, and you want them to get healthy as possible. You go into one of the hospitals and you expect them to give you honest, affordable care.
That's right. So that you don't have to make a decision. Okay, either, I'm going to spend all this money, or, they're going to, the dog will either die, or they'll, do more extensive work that's going to cost even more.
So exactly. So what we try to do, like, we've been in the game for about 5 years, and I work with several specialists down here, and I'm able to get the best care with the right equipment. For instance, about 97% of the hospitals down here, they don't even have an autoclave. And an autoclave, I guess what I would say for somebody who doesn't know what that is, it's like fire steam over hours over surgical tools and utensils. So this prevents staph infections and blood parasites and all these things. You make a cheaper price, but your animal's going to pay for it down the road. So that's where I step in. I am not that very high-end hospital in the United States, and I'm not the cheap hospital that your animal's going to get really poor care for. I'm right where we have the right staff, where we have the proper equipment, and we actually video document the care. Because if you're giving your animal to somebody and they're doing the legwork, meaning transporting the animal down here and then back to San Diego to you, you don't really know. I can say, oh, we did an ultrasound, we did CBC blood test, but you don't really know if that's what happened.
Right. You don't know exactly what they've done, because a lot of times you can't be there when they're doing all of these tests. They take the animal from the X-ray, or not the X-ray, but the room that you go into. And then, the dog from there goes in the back room or whatever to do what they've said that they're going to do.
Exactly. So we live document a lot of our veterinary care. So you can actually follow along exactly what was done. And
I think that's great that you do that. And how can people find those videos, Brian?
So Instagram is probably the best platform that we post on right now. And it's just "We Saved a Puppy," all one word. There should be 3 different ones that come up. The specific one that you want to actually follow is the one where the logo is not broken up. The logo looks just kind of like this, and it has a white background on the Instagram. And that one, I believe right now, has around 19,000 followers.
Yeah, you have definitely, built up your followers. And I know that they're probably all, animal lovers. They love to follow your stories because of how authentic you are on live videos. Even showing the one tip for the gums, for the dogs. A lot of people don't really look at their dog's gums. I never did, earlier and before I had with my kids, where my kids will go in and they'll check the dogs, for fleas or the gums or whatever, but not everybody knows to do that. So those are helpful tips. And I think when people follow you, you give that kind of feedback, right? And tips.
I've got a good one coming up on Friday. So it's called Burrito Dog. Is what I'm calling it.
Burrito Dog?
Back up. Okay, I got you. So what we do is we want to check our baby's teeth, and we generally want to wash our animals once every 10 days for dogs, right?
Yeah.
So after we're done, I use a blow dryer with no heat after I use a towel. And what I do, especially with our smaller dog, is I wrap them up in a blanket and I kind of burrito them so their hands are kind of in, and this gives us really good access to the teeth.
Oh, yeah.
So what I go ahead and I do, I have a little dog toothbrush. You can see this dog despises me.
Yes. Oh my gosh. He is so affectionate. Oh, so sweet.
They
Yeah.
never forget. I mean, I've rescued animals and I haven't seen them in years and years. And then I see them at the dog park and they just go crazy.
Oh, so you've left an impression with a lot of animals. Most definitely. And what are some of those things, Brian, that you want to kind of share with our audience? I know we're going to make sure that the donation links and everything are in the show notes, but let our audience know if there are some things, just that you've learned along the way that you feel is important for people to know.
Oh, most definitely. So if your dog's not eating or your cat's not eating, definitely contact us. We can, see what's going on. And we generally want to do a CBC blood test and a CMP blood test. And so a lot of times, especially with cats and kittens, they love to consume things that get stuck, and we have to do exploratory surgery. So a lot of people, and also another big thing is bladder stones and kidney stones. So if your animal's not wanting to eat or drink and you're forcing them to eat and drink, that can have dire consequences.
That's a sign. Yeah.
That's a big thing, especially with cats. You'd be surprised. Just stress will cause bladder stones. Then you went on vacation for a couple of weeks, you have somebody watching them, crystals will form in their urethra. And they're able to urinate or defecate sometimes, generally. And you continuously force them to drink and stuff like that. Well, these are things that I've seen that are so preventable. And they come to me, and the poor cat is just so swollen because it's unable to urinate due to the crystals. So, anytime your animal is sick or not wanting to eat, give us a call at 1-877-787-7728. At least we can, try to, use our expertise to figure out the best avenue of helping your animal.
Oh, that's awesome. And, you guys all, your whole team, you guys all do great work. And I followed you now for, gosh, at least 4 years. And we had reached out to you guys. Well, to you, I did. And you gave some great information on one of our dogs. I can't even remember what it was, but it was before the pandemic. And you were so kind. You gave me so much information. And, a lot of veterinarians sometimes, they're so busy and they don't take the time to, really truly give feedback that's important for your dog, especially through messaging, so kudos to you, Brian, for being so transparent, helping people, and, really being helpful to pet lovers that, and some that, where the dogs are stray. I would imagine, with the work that you do, the puppies that you saved and the kittens that you've saved are just, it's incredible. And you've done some great work.
So much.
Yeah.
Pull up Instagram.
Say that again.
Be able to pull up Instagram at all?
We could. Can you pull it up on your phone?
Will it show?
I believe so. Yeah, try it. I already put your Instagram link on there, but let's try it.
All right. Tell me if you can see anything. So I'm going to show you.
A black screen right now.
What about now? Is it black?
Yeah, it's still black.
Well.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. We'll put the link and we'll make sure that it's there. But again, Brian, it was so wonderful having you on the show, and thank you for taking us on a tour through your new location. And we'll make sure that people reach out to you, and of course, donations are always appreciated, and they're needed, especially for the kind of care that Brian and his team provide for pets that are just otherwise, they don't make it, or, they continue to live in pain. But I think that, Brian, again, the work that your team is doing, and you especially, you have a servant's heart, and I just admire what you're doing.
Thank you. There's a lot of people that do a lot of stuff, so
yeah.
I'm a very fractional part of everything. So.
Well, you've got the vision, and you have the drive to make things happen, and I think that's so important. So again, thank you for being our guest here on Luminary Leaders Live. And to our audience, if you're watching this, if you're catching the tail end, start back to the beginning. I always say that. Brian gave some great information on, just a few tips with your dog or cat. So definitely go back and watch the beginning. And we want to say thank you for following us and watching. Subscribe to our channel, to Luminary Leaders Live, to catch more episodes like this with great guests like Brian Bovenzi with We Saved a Puppy. All right. We'll see everyone later. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.